Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supernatural. This time we're on season 14, episode 19, titled Jack in the Box. And the last one was a very emotionally heavy episode. We unfortunately lost a member of the Winchester family, a very dear member. We had to say goodbye to none other than Mary Winchester herself. She was killed accidentally by Jack, but she was reduced to nothing but ashes. At the end of the episode before that, and then the last episode we saw she had died, and then the boys had no idea what was going on. They were trying to contact Jack, and then they found out what happened, and they were, they were slowly coming to grips with everything that happened, because Rowena said, oh, Mary Winchester is no longer on the face of the earth, so they were like, okay, then this must, she can't be on another planet, so, she must be gone, gone. And Dean, as we all know, he's very, very silent and also angry when it comes to his grief. So he was just lashing out and, assigning, well, not wrongfully assigning blame, but he did blame Cass for having seen the signs earlier and not having said anything. Cass was blaming himself for not having actually taken the signs seriously enough in the first place, and Sam was just pointing out blame on his end too. Like he had known all this stuff was going on, and he still should have seen something. So Jack, he was remorseful as all hell. He was super remorseful. His intention was never to kill her. He was just in a very bad state of mind at the time, and he wanted her gone for just a second. But then his actions took that a bit too far, and then actually wiped her off the face of the earth, and reduced her to ash. And then he enlisted the aid of Rowena to try and bring her back, but all he managed to do with the use of necromancy and her ashes was actually bring back a lifeless, uninhabitable body. Like Rowena said, that body was just a shell. It was there for aesthetic purposes alone. It wouldn't be capable of actually holding her soul or her spirit again. But then having that body back did mean that she said she needed the original body to actually successfully do a resurrection, but all that was left was ashes, so there was no way it could have worked. But the body that Jack brought back did allow the boys to actually say a proper goodbye and actually burn her body, and we got some very, very nice flashbacks of from each of them, from I was about to say Misha, from Cass, from Dean, Sam, and Jack, all of them reminiscing about the good times they had, and without a doubt, Dean's was the one that caught me off guard the most. There's just no words, just Mary sleeping on his shoulder and him driving along all happy, just having his mother back and being content and everything, and then now realizing what he's lost. But this is now the end of the Mary storyline. With the way the show's going now, with the next season being the last, there is no way that they would bring her back. There would be no point to bringing her back unless she's some kind of vision for someone, for one of the characters. But other than that, that is the end of the Mary storyline. So we'll see where things unfold from there. But Jack, he's I don't know what's gonna happen to now, because at the end, I mean, he was seeing Nick as his subconscious the whole time, him beating himself up over having killed her, and him trying to run away from that fact, and then him realizing that there was no bringing her back, and at the end he realized that they can't trust you, knowing what you've done, knowing what you're capable of, and knowing that you have little to no soul left. So then he came to the conclusion that he can't trust them either. So I don't know if that means he's going to go down a path of evil and they're going to have to kill him, or what's going to happen, but I'm very afraid for him. I'll say that much. I am very afraid for him. But yeah, I mean, this whole series, his stance has been that he's the most powerful creature in the universe, even though the season started off with him having no powers. And then once he got his powers back, it's the cost of actually having gotten his powers back was using up more and more of his soul to actually kill Michael. So then it became the more obvious standpoint of him being the most powerful creature in the universe, whilst having little to no soul left, so no filter for what's good and what's bad, and his mindset from then on became one of if he comes up with a solution, that's it, that's the only way to do things. And with Nick, is he saw him as a monster, he needed to be killed, so he went ahead and killed him. But yeah, I mean, I mentioned it last time, Mary's death ticked me off, not simply because she died, but because of the type of send-off she got. She didn't, like, you know, considering that is where her story ends and everything, and like, you know, like Cass went to see her in heaven and he said that she was at peace. She like her heaven was a really happy one for her personally. She was with John. She was presumably with her baby Sam and Dean. She was living the life that she always wanted, like a normal life away from hunting with a happy family. Like she had that. She was content. Chances are there wasn't really much of a need for her to actually come back, or a want for her to come back to life. She was happy with the heaven that she got. So she was at peace. But the send off that she got did not, like, in my eyes, it did not match the afterlife that she lives in now, because, you know, she was not aware that she was going to die. She didn't see her send off coming. It was like she didn't even, like, the boys didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to her. They just have to live with the fact that she's at peace now, and like that kind of stuff. It just rubbed me the wrong way. But the boys are most definitely broken now. Dean and Sam especially. I mean, they are the main boys. But I mean, yeah, as we all know, Dean is very silent, but also angry with his grieving. So if he needs to break something, he will break it. But what I do want to see is, if they need to take the time off to grieve, then let them do that. Or I mean, I don't know what the time jump's going to be like for this one. Maybe like a week. So maybe they use that week to grieve it, and then they try and sort shit out with Jack before he hurts anyone else. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Jack. But there is only one way to find out. So that is pretty much all I have from the last one. So episode 19, Jack in the Box. Let's go.
She couldn't cook worth a damn.
Wait, I'd be willing to try out that Winchester surprise. I'd be willing to try that out.
But we were,
To Mary. It still counts. It's water, but it still counts. If anything, this is healthier. So, yeah. Whoa! Bobby? You just killed a dude? What? He just swung an axe into a guy's face.
damn wraith.
Oh, okay. That's why. That's why. Okay. That makes more sense. Justified.
You know, at one time, you boys were good looking. Thanks. Sam, what exactly happened?
Some say they still are.
Because I'm hearing an unstoppable monster who don't know right from wrong gets put down.
Jack is capable, has the abilities of an evil being, but he's not an evil being at heart. He just, I don't even know. Is there any helping him without fixing his soul issue?
Listen to me. Leave me alone.
Too bad she's not an actual angel.
We're here.
Because then he could just wake her up in the empty. Did he call her mom? Did he call her mom?
Well?
Oh. Oh, screw you, but piss off, Nick. Your time is over.
Boy, they never loved you. You're nothing.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Pet monster. They're muscle.
No, they
Bull freaking shit.
about
Oh, he's back at the cabin. Just let it out, Dean. Just let it all out. Don't hold back. Just let it all out. God. I don't like seeing him that upset. I don't like him seeing him like that.
So he lost his capacity for good through an act of goodness.
Yes, the irony is there. Just hurry up.
See what I can do.
I feel like Dumah's going to try and use this to her advantage. Like, she knows he's scared of their fury. So I don't know. I don't have good feelings about that. I'm getting bad vibes.
We know God is real. We know angels are real too.
God writes paperback books in his underwear, okay? And angels are dicks.
But they're real, right?
Some of them are.
We know that mom's not sitting on
well,
a
most of them in
cloud
some case.
playing a harp. She's in a good place.
Hello, Jack.
Oh, Dumah. No, get away from him. Stop with your mixed agendas.
Yes, we did. But when he left, it all fell apart. You could change that.
Oh, she wants her.
Winchester, but you can save so many others.
She wants him to work for heaven.
Heaven itself.
She wants him to work for heaven.
Make the world.
Whoa. Okay, Jack, no, Jack. Jack, no, 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 Jack, Jack, no! Did he turn him into salt? Is that the whole pillar of salt thing? That's the pillar of salt thing. Oh, Dumah, you sneaky.
So, the angels fell into a crevice that opened up and she was killed.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what I thought too, but a witness said it was more like a fissure opened under her feet, then closed back up with her inside.
Wow.
Opened her mouth and swallowed them up.
Okay, I didn't know about that one. I knew about the pillar of salt.
That appertained unto Chuck came back, which that ain't gonna happen. Or Jack.
You've done excellent work, Jack.
Jack doing this actually is more likely than Chuck ever coming
Dad was in
back.
his prime. Maybe you could take their soul and forge them into one of us.
You want to turn a human into an angel? Is that even possible? Like, like Nephilim or not, can he do, is that a possible thing?
Is where your grandfather...
He's gonna try and turn them into angels. Oh god, how badly is this gonna go?
That would be a dream.
Yeah, lightning and thunderstrikes definitely make them hopeful. Buddy boy, what is... Oh, crap. Oh, he's unleashing his wings. He's unleashing his wings.
Come with me to heaven.
And they'll see a world of pure imagination. Oh, who's this guy?
He was eaten by worms and breathed his last.
No. Oh. Oh god, no. Oh, that's just uncomfortable to look at. That's just uncomfortable to look at. So many's left to be eaten by worms, and they're all taken to heaven.
Feel better.
Sure, of course. Anyone who just has worms pouring out of them is gonna feel better. Jesus. How is it still there?
I didn't want it to come to this.
How is it still there?
That kid's head's
The Malith box.
with this. He might if he only has to stay in there long enough for us to finish the spell to fix his soul.
Spell?
Huh. Wait, you have a spell?
What spell? There is no spell.
You found something. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Wow, and you even had me going along with it. Wow.
Yeah, I want
So just making him believe there's hope and then ripping that away from him.
to stop, Jack, because you're gonna be so damn sincere.
Me?
Oh, you want Sammy to lie? Damn.
Because you've always been in his corner. All right, you're his go-to guy. Same if you reach out, he'll come. If I do it, after what
Yeah, and he
happened to Mom,
breaks that trust. So is he turning them all into angels? He's actually turning them all into angels. That's a thing that he can do? So he's giving them grace and all of that celestial knowledge. And now heaven is being more powered up because there are more angels. Dumah, you are one crafty person, and he's dead.
Really, Aramel?
Aramel is dead.
I'm making angels.
Yes, you are.
Oh god, he sounds so innocent. Even in spite of all this, he sounds so innocent.
But still a child, and without a soul to guide him.
I can guide him.
No, you can't. Don't even try that shit.
Want things to be the way they want.
Don't, Dumah.
One snap of these fingers, and all of that ends.
Oh, sugar! Oh, damn! That's it. You threaten Mary Winchester and you die. That's how the Winchesters roll. That's how Cass rolls. Even though he is still a Winchester, so no need to generalize. But yeah, damn. Okay. So Dumah's dead. No more angel conversion for her.
I make angels. But
Dean, just hold back. Hold back, Dean. Just hold back.
Yeah, us too.
the accident.
God, I can't handle Dean's face right now. Dean's face is terrifying me.
And we forgive you. You know, for the, accident.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Come on. Right?
How long before I can come out?
Not too long.
I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. Not one bit. It actually worked. He can't teleport in or teleport out. He's stuck in the box. And Sam is just super duper guilty about all of this. I have never been more uncomfortable than I am right now.
Still there?
I'll tell you what, the stuff Ketch left. It's not bad.
Wait, Ketch wasn't even invited to the funeral. Ketch would have wanted to be here.
You got played, man.
I'm sorry, how is Nick fitting in there?
They said I should.
This is not healthy for Jack. The longer he's in there, the more he's gonna hallucinate this shit and go crazy. Oh crap. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, he's trying to break free. Oh, he's trying to break free. Wait, can he can still use his powers in there? Like, he can rock about?
Sorry.
You are manipulating him.
That's two-way manipulation. Dumah manipulates him, the Winchesters manipulate him. Jack is just being used in every way here. Oh, gee. Oh, he's gonna blow right out of that box. He is gonna blow right out of that box. Jack. Jack boy. Jack. Oh, God. No. Oh, God, that... This was not a nice episode. This was a very, very unkind and impolite episode. I did not feel good about this episode at all. No. Jack, gosh, I have no idea where to start with this stuff. So, I mean, what's proof is that Jack is ever remorseful. If he did not have a soul, we've seen what not having a soul does to a person. The first time, it was with Sam. I mean, for the most part, they're unremorseful in the sense that, you know, like, if they kill the wrong people, they don't feel bad about it. They genuinely don't feel bad about it. I mean, because, like, with Sam, he watched Dean get bitten by a vampire and he stood back and smiled about it. But then, you know, afterwards he did start to identify there was a problem. But even then, that was the Sam part of him. That wasn't the soulless Sam part of him. But with Jack, there's the whole thing, like, you know, I think there might have been another case of it. There was a Sam thing. Then, like, Donatello, his was kind of more curious. I mean, he was just kind of absorbing everything in from the demon tablet, so everything good and bad was going into him, and he was just lashing out and being violent and stuff like that. So that was that. But being with Jack, he is ever remorseful. He's been beating himself up ever since the accident happened, and the accident is the only way he can actually process it with calling it. But he's ever remorseful since it happened. He tried to find a way to bring her back as best as possible, but since that didn't work, he's just been laying low, but still his mind just replaying that day over and over again up until he dusted Mary, and then his subconscious in the form of Nick just taunting him and ridiculing him over it, like, because he's ridiculing himself. A person who has no soul at all would not do that. They would not feel any remorse. They would, like, if he had no soul as a whole, he would probably have moved past it by now and tried to do something else, but he is ever remorseful over it. Dean, towards the beginning of the episode, Dean's venting. That scene of him going back to the cabin and just crying his eyes out, that was very much well needed. I think we don't get enough scenes of Dean actually venting or just letting his emotions out for once, and he doesn't even like to do that in front of people. He doesn't like goodbyes. He doesn't like watching like losing the people he loves. He doesn't like having to he doesn't like letting his guard down, because he was raised on the mentality that he always had to have his guard up, that he could never, because he had to always look out for Sam, he had to look out for his little brother, he had to be the parent to him. So he would, like, John raised him with that mentality of, like, you know, you have to be strong, you can never be weak, because Sammy needs you to be strong while I'm gone. And he lost all aspect of any kind of, you know, emotional, like, processing ability or anything like that. So, he keeps everything bottled up, and then the one time he gets alone, because he's just not used to actually venting to anyone. He's not used to actually talking to anyone about his problems. He just needs to be alone. That's how he's used to doing that stuff. So that scene was very understandable. It was very much appreciated, and it's like Jensen himself, like even like he really personifies that aspect of Dean's character. The fact that this is a guy raised on not actually paying attention to your emotions, or not actually releasing them when you need to. But then once he is alone, you just see him break down. He's lost so much. He's been through some deep shit, and he doesn't always know how to actually deal with that stuff. So that scene was a very, very very on point kind of character trait of Dean's, which is really nice to see. Dumah. Fucking Dumah. I figured from the moment she heard that Jack wasn't with the Winchesters and that he was alone and that he was out in the world somewhere, I figured at that point she'd have her own agenda in place. But Naomi, so she's in a cell for having failed to stop the Empty from invading heaven, and also from having failed to stop it from killing killing the angels it killed. So I mean, I thought she would have gone into a self-imposed exile, but then I don't know. The way Dumah said him, like I'm guessing that maybe the other angels figured that she wasn't really fit to be a leader if she couldn't protect the remaining angels, so they just locked her away in a cell. And then Dumah being the right hand, presumably that gave her the opportunity to actually step up to the mantle of leadership. But Dumah herself, she has her own agendas in place. Obviously, basically most, if not all, angels know the biggest problem in heaven right now is that they don't have enough angels. They have barely any angels. Like they're barely touching the bare minimum of angels required to power heaven, because angels are the power source of heaven, the thing that keeps it alight, keeps it running. So Dumah knows that, and she knows that in order to be a good leader, she has to solve and fix heaven's problems. And in the short term, or short/long term, the immediate problem to address is the fact that heaven is on a low angel. Heaven is low on stock on angels, so they need more of those. And with an Nephilim existing and on Earth, she figures I don't know if that is the actual power of an Nephilim, if they can actually create angels, or if they can actually do that. But according to her, Jack could actually be used to create new angels. So it wasn't even just creating angels. It was like plunging heaven back into the days where it had no mercy, and it would actually enforce that belief of a religion and angel and God's existence and God's grace and all that sort of religious stuff into people. So taking down the atheist and I think the evangelical Christian and the other reverend who didn't believe Jack. It was all Bible verses. It was all punishments from the Bible. The pillar of salt one, I've seen it referenced in so many other movies and TV shows. I'm just aware of that, turning her into a pillar of salt. I'm aware of that phrase and what that basically means. So the salt one, I recognize that on the point pretty much. The other one was like a crack opening up in the ground and like the lady falling into it and then it closing back up again. So the earth swallowed her up. Don't know where that one comes from. I mean, when they said a fissure opened up in the ground, I initially thought it was maybe a portal to hell just opened up and she was sent down there instead. But no, it could have been. But I mean, the earth just swallowed her up, so maybe she's literally just underground, just frozen in the earth's crust or something. I don't know, maybe. But there's that one, and then the other one was the Reverend dude. Probably the one that made me the most uncomfortable, or very, very, very much the one that made me the most uncomfortable. Him laying on the ground and then pores opening up in his face and worms crawling out and trying to eat him. And worst thing, there was still one left in the hospital. There was still one left that just decided to pop out of his mouth and be like, hello, and just start eating his skin again. So that... visually speaking, these these kinds of aspects of biblical lore integration never fail to impress you or amaze you. But Dumah was manipulating him to kill all those people, and to use him as some kind of human to angel conversion machine. But I mean, whether she would actually just build up enough angels to power heaven again successfully, or whether she would build up enough angels to rebuild an army of warriors of God, that's up for question. But she did not have Jack's best interest at heart. She was just going to use him as a slave to fulfill heaven's duties, all under the guise of Sam and Dean being impressed because you're helping people and you're making the world a better place and yada yada yada. But Dumah is dead, and I love that final straw being that her saying, like, you know, you're not taking Jack out of here, because otherwise, you know, I will with a snap of her fingers, she will take Mary's perfect heaven away from her and probably just give her something else or send her down to hell or something. But her threatening Mary was the final stand for Cass. That was when the angel blade went right into her and he just destroyed her grace. That was the final straw for him. So I loved that. That was a great touch. But Dean as well. Dean wanted to manipulate Jack as well, and I think towards the end of it, his like, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, because I want to say his grief was non-understandable towards the end of it, but at the same time, it's like he's had the same reaction. Like whenever Cass or Sam have done bad shit in the past, and it's cost them people, and other things in the past, Dean has always been rightfully angry towards it. And honestly, this doesn't really feel much different. Like Jack is still, you know, monster or not, he still has he has the physical capabilities of being an unkillable monster, of a killing machine. And you know, like, him having little soul left also means that, you know, he's still, like, you know, he still doesn't know right from wrong in its extent, to its full extent. He's still under the guise that, you know, like, he's still under the guise that, like, you know, whatever he's told to do is right, and he can very easily be manipulated. Like his subconscious said, he's naive as all hell. So any he was so, but I think even it's even more specific, because in the moment he was so full of remorse and he wanted to fix things between him and Sam and Dean, that, you know, Dumah recognized that. She was able to manipulate it. He can he was that naive because he was more focused on actually fix it, like reconciling with Sam and Dean, than he was about actually, you know, understanding whether he was doing what's right or wrong. Like him just turning that dude into a pillar of salt, swallowing up the Earth Lady and the worms dude, and all that stuff. Like he's being told it's what's right and it's what needs to happen to serve heaven right, and also to make Sam and Dean happy, but he still has no sense of what's right and wrong. So, you know, with that, Dean has a more understandable kind of standpoint on this. Like, he has little to no soul, and he has more power than anyone else in the universe right now. So there is no telling if there's any stopping him, or if there's any changing him, or fixing him, or anything like that. But him manipulating Jack like that still makes me uncomfortable. Like, him telling him, like, I mean, throughout that entire scene, I said it again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, his face just screamed murder and just vengeance as a whole. Like, as soon as Jack appeared, his fists clenched, he stood up straight like he was about to just lunge at Jack and body slam him into the table. You know, you could tell he was angry. Like had he fully wanted to, he would have actually hurt Jack, but he had enough self-control. And that's what he doesn't identify in Jack. If Jack was in his position, Jack would have just snapped him away. But, you know, Dean has enough self-control to actually know that, you know, they already have a plan in place, as much as he wants to, you know, just yell at Jack and scream at Jack and just do something. But I think he's still so deep into his grief with Mary that, you know, at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. It's just that just it makes me uncomfortable. Like, it makes me uncomfortable knowing that, you know, like, he's still like, I mean, he saw that as the only option to actually lock Jack away under the pretense of there being a cure to fix his soul, and then just to keep him there forever, pretty much. Because, like, you know, like, it's not even a case of, oh, well, as of right now, we know that there's no way to fix his soul, but it's not even a case of, oh, let's just find out what else we can do. It's just like, oh, let's just keep him here until we might have the energy to think about something else. You know, like knowing he's here is better than actually, you know, wasting time trying to find a non-existent cure or trying to actually do something. You know, this way we know he's here. We can't let Bobby get to him. But God damn it. And then Jack obviously being locked in the Malith box, and then his subconscious coming up and just taunting him again, like just being like he's so naive and he doesn't even realize that Sam and Dina are manipulating him. And he was asking really good questions though as well. His subconscious was actually asking really good questions, like, you know, why can they not give you a good enough time, like a deadline for the cure? Like, you know, like why do they not trust you enough to have to keep you locked up in a box? Why are they doing this and that? Like, why can't they be honest with you? That stuff. And then he scares himself even more knowing that Sam and Dean aren't there. He's all alone in this box that he knows he can't get out of because it's designed for archangels to not be, you know, let out there. But now we know for a fact that Malith boxes do not work on Nephilims because they are much more powerful than archangels. And I think from the beginning that was actually written, like that was actually spoken law. That was spoken law, like you know, after like soon enough, a Nephilim will actually become more powerful than the archangel that created it. Like ever since Jack was born, that was actually one of the spoken pieces of law. Like an archangel, like soon, like after a long enough period of time, a Nephilim will become stronger than the Nephilim who birthed it, or like than the Nephilim, the archangel that actually created it. So yeah, so that, I mean, if that's the case, that means that anything created for an archangel will not come close to harming to harming a Nephilim with the Nephilim power still inside it. Like the Archangel Blade, it hurt Jack because he had no power then back in season 13. But then the Malith box itself, that like it's, you know, like assuming he doesn't have his powers, but then I don't know. But yeah, like it can't contain a Nephilim as well as we thought, and that ending, the like him literally blowing the doors and the shelves out of the room, and then the alarms blaring off, and then there just being smoke everywhere, and then you just see a pair of glowing eyes opening and walking out. Like, Jack is gonna be pissed. He's gonna be pissed. He's not gonna be asking in a sweet little voice like, oh, well, I forgot to ask you, when do you think that cure will be ready? Why are you locking me in a box? Why are you manipulating me? Like, he's gonna be angry as shit because, again, his subconscious taunted him into, you know, realizing that he was being manipulated, he was being lied to. Like, this isn't something he's comfortable with. He's changed his mind, and you know, he's gonna have some words for Sam and Dean. But God friggin' damn it, I have no idea what to think of any of this. But yeah, like Dumah manipulating him. I mean, she's an angel. She's barely held any regard. I mean, angels, from what we've seen, have barely held any regard or any respect for the human race. They've always seen themselves as the warriors of God, and they serve that one purpose. Like there have been very few angels that have any qualms or, you know, any problems with having to harm humans in order to get what they need. And Dumah is obviously, from what we've seen, she was someone who was more focused on actually bringing heaven back into its glory days than she was about actually taking care of God's creations. So there's that. But then Dean, I understand his like where he's coming from because of his grievances, but at the same time, I do not I really don't I just don't appreciate like his further manipulation of Jack under the guise that he's the most powerful creature in the universe, therefore they have to lock him up. Like him, you know, I feel like they maybe could have had they put the grief aside for 1 second, they maybe could have actually talked to him about what's going to happen, what Bobby's up to, like the fact that they have to keep him safe. They could have negotiated a deal where Jack just stays with them in the bunker and they actually work through something together. Okay, sure, there's no soul cure. Find something else. And actually tell him the truth, like, oh, we did look for a soul cure, but there's nothing in there, so, how about you stay in the box, and like we will keep searching for anything else we find. We will keep searching for a way to fix your soul somehow, and just until then, it's just best for you to stay in the box, so that way no one can hurt you, and you can't hurt anyone, not in the way that you kill them, but you won't lose control of your powers in there because you can't use them. And you know, like maybe so he doesn't feel so isolated and trapped and eventually claustrophobic in that box. Maybe have someone actually, I don't like, visit him once in a while and like actually talk to him and let them know how things go. Like, I don't know, like, don't make him feel like he's a prisoner in somewhere that he actually calls home, and actually, you know, like, allow him to work through his own grief. He is also grieving over Mary. I think that's one of the things that Sam and Dean are like actually, you know, tremendously that's one of the things they're overlooking tremendously well. Like, you know, they think that just because Jack killed her, like all he feels is maybe a little bit of sadness, and then he's like, oh, time to move on now. But no, like, Jack actively tried to bring Mary back. You know, he actively tried to bring Mary back. He's ever remorseful, and he's just constantly running that scene over in his head. And, you know, he feels horrible because of it. So Jack is also grieving. Maybe not like to the extent of them, because, you know, like she was their biological mother, and like she was only like close enough. She was adoptive of him. But at the same time, Jack is also grieving. So I think that's something that they just didn't really take into consideration when doing all of this. But, you know, him calling it an accident isn't him trying to downplay the gravity of the situation. It's not him trying to make it sound less serious than it is. It's just the way he actually... It's the way it actually happened. It was an accident. He wasn't trying to kill her. He was just trying to get rid of her in a way that he could actually spend a few minutes trying to focus on his own mental state. So, you know, and not to say that was Mary's fault either. I mean, fair enough, she did kind of provoke him into that attack, but fair enough, she was there because she cared about him and she was worried about him and all that stuff. But still, you know, point of the matter is Jack was grieving as well. But, you know, they were too focused on the fact they were too focused on what he's actually capable of to think about what he might be going through and like to actually help him into an actual more like a more reasonable mental kind of state. So that is also something that ticks me off. But damn, I have no idea what to think about this now. It's just a nightmare, honestly. It's just a nightmare. Now, Jack is going to be pissed, and he's going to be going after them, and Cass is the only one actually actively knowing that, you know, they need to find a way to help him. He's against, he killed Dumah for having manipulated Jack, and also for threatening Mary's heaven, and then, he actively argued against Dean, against having Jack locked up in the box under the guise of them finding a cure, when really it's just keeping him there so that he can't hurt anyone else ever again. So keeping him locked up like he's as if he's an enemy, as if he is an enemy. But yeah, I have no idea how things are gonna unroll with unfold with Jack now. But we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, but Sam as well, he was super uncomfortable that he did not want to have to lie to Jack like that, even like with him outside the room and Jack just calling Sam's name. Like, that really reminded him of how shit this really feels. And, you know, Dean using Sam's closer relationship with Jack to actually for him to be the one to lie to him, I feel it is actually even worse, because, you know, for one thing, that just completely destroys the trust between them, because again, it's there because that trust is there because when Jack was first born, everyone else shunned him, and Sam was the only one to understand how it feels to be seen as this force of evil just because of where he comes from or what he has or what he is. And, you know, Sam was the only one to try and actually help him or talk him through anything, and now that's being used against him, being like, oh, you've talked to him, you're friends with him, you guys are BFFs forever and all that stuff. So, you know, you can lie to him and to tell him that there's actually hope and make him believe that for God knows how long. Like, that rubbed me in the wrong way as well. And and Sam himself, he's just, that probably made him more uncomfortable than anything else. So that sucks. But yeah. Just an uncomfortable episode, just a super uncomfortable episode. But again, I get where Dean is coming from. I don't want people to start thinking I'm just bashing out on Dean because of what he did. I get where Dean is coming from. It's a totally understandable standpoint, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't even know anymore. It's just, it honestly just makes me uncomfortable watching people lie to Jack like that and like thinking that they're doing what's best for him or what's best for other people. But that's just how the characters are in this show. But again, not ripping on Dean. I understand where he's coming from. He's in a moment. He's in a state of constant grievance right now, and he doesn't know what else to do. But hopefully in the next season Jack won't be too angry. He won't try and kill any of them. So hopefully things will be much better in the next episode. So yeah, but that is pretty much all I have from this one. But yeah, that was Supernatural season 14 episode 19 titled Jack in the Box. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up in the next one, and how you think this is all going to end, because the next one is the season finale. But yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.